Yeah, there we go. Right, we on?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to round number 8 of the 2022 Formula 2 season. We are here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Stavelot for the Belgian Grand Prix, and hopefully we'll be in for a good race. Will the weather be the same as it was in the top class? We shall find out. But I am JW97, and once again, just like yesterday, I am joined by Janice Graff.
Good evening.
Good evening indeed. A very short and simple intro there
Yeah.
from Dennis there. No need for an introduction.
Can be short sometimes, yeah.
Yes, short and sweet. But anyway, hopefully we'll be in for a good race. So why don't we take a look at the grid then for the Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa-Francorchamps. And hopefully it should be a good one. So 4x4 as per usual, as we'll have 26 laps of action coming your way. So on pole position for the 5th time in his feeder series career, it is Ruslan Prostyuk in the high-tech, followed by Wojtek Kulesek in 2nd position. Hento Senanome, the championship leader, starts in 3rd, with Aaron Curtis, the 2020 GP2 champion, in 4th.
James 3rd will start from 5th on the grid in the campus with Agi Prazan in 6th. Tobias Press will start from 7th on the grid with Latino Andrioli starting from 8th.
Joao Pedro Kirby will start in 9th at ART Grand Prix with Jafari Blackwood, Hento's nearest rival, in 10th. Andrei Sazonov, the man who won last time out at the Nürburgring, starts in 11th with Bernardo de Oliveira in 12th.
In P13 on the grid, we have Kai Zvesnia. Agatino Bivona will start from 14th on the grid. In 15th, we have Adam Chobot. And in 16th, Feng Chano Chao China.
Then we have Alexander Arnold down in 17th with Alex Broster in 18th position. Jake Tilsley starts in 19th with Samet Oskan in a disappointing 20th. And on the back row of the grid, Dennis?
We have Nicolas Zorbach in an even more disappointing 21st. And Josef Fredrik Soto in 22nd and last.
And the weather for the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, let's have a look. Is it going to be wet or dry? It is going to be changeable, in fact. So, as you can see, it will start dry. There is a tiny percentage of rain in the first 30 minutes of the race, but when we get to the 30-minute mark, we should have rain. So, it might be changeable towards the end of the race. We shall wait and see. But without further ado, let us get on with it. Obviously, cloud cover in the sky, so it should be interesting. And of course, tradition with the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, usually, when you start on pole position, there's a very high chance you might lose the lead into the first corner. So, is that going to be the case for Ruslan Prostyuk? Will Kulesek get the jump into the first corner? And if that's the case, maybe we could see Prostyuk trying to get the lead back down the Kemmel Straight. We shall wait and see, of course.
Yep. But I think, of course, that Kulesek will have the best chances to lead after La Source.
Yeah, indeed, but we are now on the grid then. Prostyuk on the left of your screens, Kulesek on the right. Who is going to get the lead into the first corner? It is currently dry at the moment, but it could get wet later. 4 lights are on, and 5 lights are now on. And it is lights out, and away we go here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Who's going to get the lead in the first corner? Well, Kulesek, he's already got the jump on Prostyuk. He didn't even need the first corner to do that, but Kulesek already getting the lead. He got a much better launch, and all crash.
In the background.
As a pile over the back, it looks like, who is that that's off? It's Alexander
Arnold.
So his miserable season continues. Arnold out of the race at the first corner. I think there's a few cars with damage as well. Broster has damage, so carnage at the first corner. So everybody was basically just crowding into each other there.
Yeah, of course, Arnold was almost stopping there, and Broster did have some speed still, and he could avoid the impact. Yeah, that's for Arnold. He can park the car already. Broster will have to pit.
Yep, indeed, as everybody was trying to filter their way through. Zorbach also having to wait about as well. But yeah, Broster with damage. Did anybody else get damage around? I don't think so. I think everybody else avoided the collision there, as everybody was being crowded around, and it basically forced people to come to a virtual stop at that first corner. I wonder if that's going to be a thing in the top class tomorrow, but of course Broster will have to pit for a new front wing as a result. But Kulesek is in the lead of the race, followed by Prostyuk in second, but Sinanome has got Curtis all over the back of him meanwhile in their fight for third, as Curtis is now on the inside heading down the Kemmel Straight, but he looks like he hasn't got an overlap yet on the Japanese driver, so he's going to hang back as a result. Andrioli now on the inside of Cress into Lecom, and he gets up into 7th place. He's had a good start to the race as well as Andrioli, although having said that, he was high up anyway, so he might have lost the pace, but he's still running in the points at the moment as Broster tours his way back into the pits. But a great start for Kulesek, as mentioned, Dennis, and he didn't even need the first corner. He just got a much better launch than Prostyuk.
Yeah, sometimes you just all you need. Sometimes all you just need is a great start, and that was Kulazek got. It was even better than great. It was absolutely amazing.
Indeed so, as they come around Lafagna for the first time today, and he's already got a 1 second cushion over Ruslan Protsiuk at this point. Blackwood has passed Kirby for 9th position, so he's gained a place, so gaining 2 places from the original grid spot, and he needs to really, because his rival Hento Sinonome is up in 3rd position at this stage at the moment, as Zorbet trying to catch up to the train after he got held up, as Broster once again tore back into the pits without a front wing after what happened to him at the start of the race. But Kulazek currently leading now up to 1.2 as Proxy currently got a 0.8 second cushion now ahead of Sinano. Meanwhile, Blackwood now all over the back of Tobias Crest now. Then could he grab P8 from the German driver into the last chicane? He's thinking about it, trying to flick it to the inside, but thinks better of it. So he has to hang back for the moment. As meanwhile, Bavona tries to look to the inside of Andrei Sazonov, who hasn't had the best start. Lock up there. There's damage over Chobart. Chobart's got damage in the suit, and he's going to get crowded in the pits. And Tilsley's involved in that as well. But and he's had to come into the pits, I think, because he's got damage as a result from that as well. He's got the pit indicator at the top. So yeah, that's that really. But yeah, chaos at the chicane really, and I think once again people are getting crowded into that part.
Yep, first hit. Also, Spatsuto was also under pressure from Oscar, and he was forced to brake late, but there was Chobot in the way. Let's see what happened to
Tilsley got damage from that, I think, unless he was forced into the pit lane, as you can see. So he was basically a passenger in all of that, and well, he was actually forced into the pits, in fact. So yeah, a little bit of a result on there for GP4. I guess Tilsley
I never said that, to be honest.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think you could probably see that in real life, to be honest. If you get crowded and you're forced into the pits, there's not really much you can do. You can't really go into reverse, really, because that's pretty dangerous. But a few cars in the pits, maybe a change of strategy then for Tilsley as a result. Meanwhile, Sorensny trying to have a go. But Vona up the hill, but can't quite make it work, so he has to hang back for the moment, as now Chobot is having his rear wing repaired at the moment. So is as well, Tilsley having to wait, and he's gone 12 laps. So, yeah, his strategy is ruined because of that collision at the chicane. But meanwhile, Kershani now on the inside of Sorensny into the Lecon, but can't make the move. Sorensny holds on to 14th position at this stage. And that's pretty much that. Broster finally finishes his pit stop, so all the damaged people are now back out onto the track. But meanwhile, Kulazek still continuing to pull away at the front.
Yep, Kulazek currently using all the advantage of free air to pull out the early gap. But also I think Sinome is closing to the back of Protsiuk.
As now we look at, yeah, he is gaining. It's 0.4 seconds at the gap to Sinonome, trying to close in on the high-tech Grand Prix driver. He's also got, you got Curtis is actually down into 5th position meanwhile, because that is Prazan who's up in 4th. As now James Sturtey's now trying to attack Aaron Curtis now then for P5 as they now make their way towards Blanchimont. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Curtis holds on to the place for the moment as they now make their way towards the last chicane on the racetrack. Sturt now right in the slipstream of Aaron Curtis. Can he now fake to the left, right and go to the left? No, he won't. He backs out of it and stays where he is. Same goes with the Andrioli and Crest fight that's currently going on. Meanwhile, Bavono again trying to attack Sazonov for 12th position, but can't get the move stick. Sazonov, oh, bit of contact there, but Sazonov holds on to 12th for the time being. But yeah, Sinonome definitely closing in on Protsiuk at this stage.
Yep, indeed. But let's see if anyone is trying to make a move here. It doesn't look like it. Sazonov is going very defensive there against Bivona. But now let's look at Sturt.
Yep, Sturt now on the clutches of Aaron Curtis now. It looks like Curtis is struggling a little bit on this stint now. Then it's Sturt now right into the gearbox now then of Aaron Curtis. They come down the Kemmel straight. Looks like Crest will also try and have a go at Andrioli just behind. But Sturt now on the inside, and he's got better straight line speed than Curtis. Should he get the move done into the com? And yes, he does. Up into 5th place. He will go as Crest retakes 7th from Andrioli. So he gets up into 7th place. Bavona now on the inside of Sazonov. Can he finally get the move done? And yes, he can. Bavona finally passes Sazonov, and he's up into 12th position. But yeah, Curtis at the moment seemingly struggling on this stint at this stage.
Yep, indeed. It was a very easy pass for Sturt, to be honest, who's now up in the top 5, I think, once again. Was he regained his 5th position. And now here, Crest still defending from Andrioli.
Can't get the move stick now then as Kress holds on to 7th place for the moment. Meanwhile, Serezny now on the inside of Sazonov into Puon. Can't quite get the move stick. Sazonov holds on to the place, and Serezny now currently finding himself in a Uni Virtuosi sandwich at the moment. And, well, it's not a good race at the moment for Uni Virtuosi. It's not going to help them when they've got the two Van Amersfoort cars, the team that they're chasing down in the Teams Championship, both in the points at the moment. So Sinonome in 3rd and Andrioli currently in 8th position. So, yeah, not going to help them out in the Teams Championship at the moment. As meanwhile, Blackwood is now starting to attack Andrioli for 8th position. Can the Jamaican driver find a way through perhaps into the chicane? Let's see.
Yep, let's see. He got quite a good speed out of Blanchimont, but he doesn't try the move, which is, I think, a smart thing to do. Now we have...
This is Keoshani attacking Sazonov, in fact. So unseen by the cameras, Keoshani has actually overtaken Serezny for 14th position. So now Serezny is out of that Uni Virtuosi sandwich at this stage. I noticed as well that Sinonome has actually lost time now to Bratsuk. He's now over a second between the pair. But where did Keoshani get the move done on Serezny? Oh, it looks like it might be one of these sorts of moves at Blanchimont here. So you're going to see Serezny go for the move on his teammate. And Keoshani, Keoshani's teammate that is. And Keoshani says, thank you very much. I take 14th of ease there.
I would say that was a great teamwork, to be honest, from Uni Virtuosi there to get the two cars together. But of course, it could be risk because you don't know what will happen between the teammates. As now Kress is trying to make an overtake on Curtis for 6th.
Yeah, indeed, the German driver now on the inside of Aaron Curtis, again confirming that Curtis seems to be struggling at this stage of the race as they go side by side towards Lecom, and already Kress with the overlap, and he gets up into 6th position, so he gets the move done. Blackwood unable to find a way through on Andrioli, so he has to hang behind him for the moment. Sazonov once again trying to defend off from his own teammate in the fight for 13th position. I think that's Zorbat that's currently up in 17th, so he's been slowly climbing up the order at the moment as he's trying to make up for his disappointing qualifying early on, and it is. Suto currently holds on to the fastest lap, but we know how the rule works, of course. If you are not in the top 10, then you can't get the bonus point for the fastest lap. So far it will go to whoever is the fastest in the top 10, and we'll obviously check out that one out a little bit later on as Blackwood now tries to have a go at Andrioli for what is 8th position in this race as they now make their way towards Lafagna for the 4th time today, and Blackwood trying to put Andrioli under a bit of pressure here as meanwhile Curtis is actually not dropping far back from Kress at the moment. He's still keeping up with him at the moment, but yeah, the main focus is on this fight for 8th position going on between Andrioli, who's trying to do his teammate a favour in holding back his nearest rival Blackwood.
Yep, of course, it will be very important for VAR if Andrioli is able to keep Blackwood behind as much as he possibly can. But I think, to be honest, it's just a matter of time when Blackwood could make the move stick. As now wanted to have a look there, but was nowhere near a move.
Indeed, and he's ended up still behind Andrioli's, and as a result, it's actually bringing along Joe Pedro Kirby into this, who you may have noticed he's now actually got his new helmet on the car. He's now wearing his new helmet that he designed ages ago. We've finally managed to get it on there, as you can see. Here is his design.
Nice.
A pretty good design. It's very good to see. So, yeah, he'll be using that for the remainder of the season. But anyway, back to the battle between Blackwood and Andrioli in front. Is Blackwood close enough to go for the move? I don't think he is. Maybe that momentum he lost at the chicane has prevented him from getting close to Andrioli. Oh, no!
What is a failure?
He's got a problem! His engine is pulling up right at the camel straight in dramatic fashion. And Hento Serno is definitely going to be happy about that one. And it looks like Jafari Blackwood is out of the race. No pit indicator. It's race over for the championship contender.
Oh my word, that's the least thing you would have expected here to happen on lap 5. But yeah, that will be the end of Jafari Blackwood's race, and Sinome will lick his lips about that one.
Yep, indeed, and as Evan pointed out in the stream chat, a Mechachrome moment indeed. So, yeah, the Mechachrome engine blowing up in the back of the dams there, and this time it's on Jafari Blackwood. Not exactly what he wants, considering he's chasing for the championship this season, and of course a drive, of course, in the top class, because he is in contention for Toyota, but this is definitely not going to help, as he's now holding up the two Uni Virtuosis there, one of them being his former BTCC teammate, Andrea Sazonov, and, well, through they go, but Blackwood going around for quite a while. Surely, very soon, his engine is going to give up the ghost in a little bit.
His teammate.
Yep, and that's not going to help as now both Oscar and Zorbach are now getting held up by the engine further from Blackwood. But I think it is now come to a complete halt now. Then I think he's now slowing down at that point. In fact, no, he's not. That was a little bit of a
he's going quite far with that failure, to be honest. but he has to park the car up quite soon, I think.
Yeah, he will have to, but because it's a terminal failure, he hasn't got the pit indicator on. And
Yeah,
there you go. The engine has now died on him just before the last chicane, and Jafari Blackwood is going to be out of the race, and we are now down to 20 runners here at Spa-Francorchamps. A bit of a shame for Blackwood. It's not going to help his championship chances at all, this failure, given that Synonome is up in third position.
Yep, he now has to hope and pray that something happens to Synonome, but of course we don't want to see that. So, Bivona actually could make, try for overtake on the Oliveira right ahead of him.
And this could be for points here for the Italian as he now goes side by side heading into Lecombe. Now then side by side to go. Is Bavona going to get himself into the points? And yes, he is. Bavona up into 10th place with both Premers now into the points with Kulazak in the lead of the race. Sperezia gets 13th now from Kane now then. Yep, so he's now back in the Uni Virtuosi sandwich as a result, as now Blackwood's car is being attended to by the marshals. Might take a while to clear up because of where the runoff is at that point. Meanwhile, Sturt attacking Prazan now for 4th position and can't find a way through at the moment, so we have to hang back for the moment. But these two definitely fighting for 4th position, and they're not too far behind 3rd place man Synonome at this stage.
Yes, so Synonome, I think, is actually not really giving it everything. He knows that his main rival at the moment is out of the race, clearly, and he definitely is on course at the moment for getting a good haul of points.
Indeed, Sturt now again trying to attack Prazan as yells have now been lifted at the chicane, so he is free to overtake Prazan at that chicane if he wants to. As now Sturt looks to the outside line then of Prazan, he's going to flick it back to the inside. Can he pull the move off? He's going to try and have a go, but thinks better of it. Prazan holds on to the place for the moment as they come out of that final chicane now, then heading down towards the La Source now. Then is he going to try and maybe go for a run into the first corner? He is in the slipstream of the Indonesian driver, but he's going to hang back. Maybe he is waiting for the Camel Straight to pull that move off at the moment. But yeah, that's that really. Meanwhile, Curtis could come under pressure in a little bit from Santino Andreoli if he's not careful. Curtis clearly struggling on this stint at the moment. Is now up towards Eau Rouge and Rally. On we go. Is Sturt going to now try and go for the move on Aji Prazan as they come down the Camel Straight now? Then is he close enough to go for a move on the high tech? He is in the slipstream of Prazan, but I don't know if he's close enough to go for the move. In fact, he's still gaining. He's looking to the inside, but Prazan looks like he's going to have it covered unless Sturt can break that a little bit later. He sends Prazan wide as a result. He forced the error on Prazan, and Sturt is up into 4th place. Prazan clearly getting a bit distracted there by the Campos driver.
Yep, that was a great effort there from Sturt. He's now up into 4th place. Yeah, actually, Prazan was quite lucky. He was still ahead of Crest there, to be honest.
And now Prazan is going to come under pressure from Crest. Meanwhile, Curtis could come under pressure, as mentioned earlier, by Santino Andreoli if he's not careful. As now Crest will now try and have a go at Prazan, who just made that mistake a little bit earlier on.
Yep, indeed.
So now they make their way down towards Pouon now. Then the double left-hander on the racetrack, and really trying to get onto the back of Curtis in the background there, as you can see, as the Trident trying his best to fend off from the Van Amersfoort Racing driver at this stage, as they now make their way towards Squad. Prazan already going defensive, you can see in front from Tobias Kress, as same for Curtis with his fight with Santino Andreoli, as they now make their way through the left-hander now then, as now Prazan really trying his best to fend off from Crest now coming through the Stavlo corner we go, and is Crest going to try and line up a move on Prazan quite soon now then in this race as they make their way towards Blanchimon, as now Crest looks to the inside line but can't make the move stick, as same for Andreoli on Curtis at the moment. Through the second part of Blanchimon now, they can Crest get the move done now then on the Indonesian as they now make their way into the last chicane, flips it back to the inside. Can he break that a little bit later than Prazan? No, he can't. And can Andreoli though do it on Curtis? No, he can't. So once again hanging back. So these two battles resuming at the moment. Bavona is in fact not too far behind from Kirby.
Yep, there will almost be a fight going on like here. A bad three-way fight for 40. Violi is going down the inside on Curtis. And is he through? Yes.
That's a good move there from the Frenchman, and he's up into 7th place. I thought he was going to wait for the Camel Straight, but he's done it already at La Source. A fantastic move for Santino Andreoli. Is now Cress. Is he close enough to go for Prazan down the Camel Straight? Could he perhaps do the same thing to what Sturt did on Prazan earlier on? Let's see. He's in the slipstream of the Indonesian, but I do think he's a little bit too far back, so I don't think he's going to get him on this occasion. Back to this fight for 14th now between Keoshani, Oskan, and Zorbak as well. These three have been fighting for quite a bit. As now Oskan right in the gearbox of the Uni Virtuosi driver now. Then he's going to look to the the inside. Can the Swedish driver make the move stick into Lecom now then? Side by side they go towards Lecom. Can he break that a little bit later than the Thai driver? He tries to, but he can't make it stick as Kirshani holds onto the place, and Oscar and Zorbach once again getting held up by the Univirtuosi driver.
Yep, that was quite a good defense there from Chow Chynat. And he's giving everything to hold Oscar, and behind is now Kirby and Bivona fighting.
Bivona on the inside of Kirby into Puon, not going to work out, so Bivona has to back out of that one for the meantime. As meanwhile, Kulizek has now got a 5.1 second lead, and Sazonov makes a big error there through into Puon there, but thankfully was able to correct it.
Yeah, that was quite a good save there. At the beginning of the goal, I think he was also sure that he was going off the track, but he kept it on, which is good effort. Now we might see a second attempt of Kress trying to make a move of Prazan.
He's going to try and have a go into Blanchimon if he can, but he has to back out of that one, so maybe waiting once again for the chicane on the high-tech driver through the second part of Blanchimon. Back in the slipstream now then of the high-tech, looks to the outside, he's going to try and fake it and go back to the inside. He's thinking about the move, looking to the inside line into the chicane, but again not able to pull the move off, and he has to hang back as now we look at this is De Oliveira now fending off from Kaiser Resnia as Oliveira slipping away from the point at this stage and falling back now from the battling Bivona and Kirby. At the moment, technically, Bivona is in an ART sandwich at the moment as he's behind Kirby and in front of Kirby's teammate De Oliveira at this stage now then. But meanwhile, back to the battle of Bivona. I think Kress is a lot closer to Prazan than what he was previously now. There's a come through Orouge and Radion. He's right on the gearbox now then of the high-tech driver. Is he going to pull the move off now then? Down the Kemmel straight, and he's going to pull to the inside line. Is Kress going to get the move done? This time by now, then side by side they go towards Lecom. As meanwhile, Bavona's on the inside of Kirby heading into the Kemmel straight. As Kress gets the move done and he's up into 5th place. Can Bavona do the same here on Kirby into Lecom down the inside? And no, he can't. Kirby holds on to 9th position. So Rezia now on the inside. He's already got the overlap and he's up into 11th place. Didn't even need to wait for the corner on that occasion. As Oscar finally gets by on Keoshani and he's up into 14th place. So he's now broke free from the Univirtuoso driver. So a few overtakes there down the Kemmel straight.
Yeah, actually quite a lot of overtakes. There are a lot of action on this lap 9 here. Now, of course, this is currently the closest battle, I would say, now on the track after we've seen the passes.
Yep, indeed, as they now come out of turn 11 now then and make their way towards Lafania. But let's not forget as well, just as a reminder, if anybody's just tuned in, of course, we are expecting rain towards the second half of the race. So bear that in mind. Meanwhile, Senonome is now under pressure here from James Sturt. So Senonome is going to have to do a bit of defending if he wants to hold on to this podium place now. Then Senonome cuts him off through into Blanchimon as they now make their way into the final chicane now then. Can Sturt get the move done on Sinano into towards the last chicane? We will go, but no, he's going to fit better with it. Maybe he's waiting for the Kemmel straight to try and pull the move off on the championship leader. We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see indeed, as now the two are going on the straight. We now see if someone else can make an overtake here, but doesn't seem to happen.
Bavona still trying to put Kirby under a bit of pressure there in their fight for 9th position. I wonder if Serezia may be starting to close in on them quite soon. Looks like Sazonov will be soon lining up to try and go for a move on De Oliveira quite soon now then, as we now go back to the battle for third. Is Sturt close enough to go for a move on Sinonome or not? And it looks like he might be a little bit far back. I think he is still in his slipstream though regardless, but I think Sturt is just a bit too far back to challenge at this point, so he's going to have to wait for a little bit longer, I think, if he wants to get that final podium place off the championship leader at the moment. As now, meanwhile, it looks like Kulizek is pitting this lap, in fact, so the race leader is pitting it in this lap. You can see with the red pit icon on the top of Bavona's car. And speaking of Bavona, he's now on the inside of Kirby. Has he finally got the move done? And yes, he has. Bavona now up into 9th position, so he's now on 2 championship points. But as mentioned, his teammate Wojtek Kulizek is pitting this lap, as is Tobias Kress in the MP Motorsport.
Yep, so the pit stops are now starting. Actually, for this track, it's quite early to see these two already pitting on lap 10. Also, we have 2 more pit calls for Suto and Tildesley.
They've already pitted, of course, those two have, so they clearly went a bit light for this stint, of course, as maybe they're now just waiting to see when the weather was going to interfere in this race or not. But anyway, back to the battle between Sturt and Sinonome, of course. They will be promoted a place when Kulizek comes into the pits, obviously, so Protsiuk will take the lead temporarily in this race. As now we come towards the Blanchimon now then, is now Sturt has a look again on Sinonome, but he can't get the move done on the Japanese driver just yet. Through into the second part of Blanchimon now, then we go, and now into the final chicane. As he now looks to the outside, he's going to flick it back to the inside into the last chicane. He thought about it, but Sinanome covers him off, so he holds on to third for the moment. But Kulizek is now into the pits for Prema Racing, and so the Czech driver is now in as he's looking to try and get his second victory of the season today. Is Kulizek. So now Protsut does take the lead temporarily. Just saw in the background there, the Cress has now just come into the pits, so that's that. But we're focusing at the moment on this fight between Sinanome and Sturt, and Sinanome in fact is pitting at the end of this lap, so Sinanome will be darting into the pits at the end of this. Kulizek now then finishes his pit stop. Where does the Czech driver emerge? As he now comes out of the pits, and he's going to emerge in 7th position, it seems. He comes out just in front, no, 8th in fact. He comes out just behind his teammate Magatina Bavona, and comes out in front of Joao Pedro Kirby's ART Grand Prix car. Cress now then comes out of the pits. Where is he going to emerge? He's going to emerge in 16th place as we now look at the rest of the field now as they come down the Camel Straight. Kirby is coming in at the end of this lap. So that's that really, but we know that Sinanome is pitting at the end of this lap, but Sturt is not. He's going to stay out. Protsuk is also coming in, so Sturt will take the lead temporarily when Protsuk and Sinanome come in as Tilsley finishes off his pit stop. His race ruined after that contact that happened on the first lap there at the pit entrance, which forced him into the pits as a result. As now Sturt tries to have a go at Sinanome there, but again not working out. But I think Sturt should be aware that Sinanome is coming into the pits at the end of this lap.
Yeah, indeed, they have to play it safe. Hopefully Sturt doesn't try to make the move into the bus stop. But of course we have to wait and see how they will go.
Yeah, indeed, as they now come out of the Stavilo there, as they now make their way towards Blanchimont. Sturt again trying to have a go on the inside into Blanchimont, but it's not going to work. Sinanome again doing a good job keeping him back at this stage. Through the second part we go. Is Sturt going to try and maybe go for the move on Sinanome before he comes in to make his pit stop? Let's see. No, he's not. He's going to hang back, so Sinanome will come in and Sturt will get by him there. And of course we know that Protsuk is also into the pits as well, so Sturt will take the lead temporarily. So let's see how quick the pit stops are going to be then for both Protsuk and Sinanome here. Sinanome now then makes his pit stop in the high-tech Grand Prix car. Sinanome also a little bit further down in the garage order, but Protsuk finishes his pit stop, a 7.3 second stop for him there. There's Sinanome making his pit stop. Looks like somebody else is coming in at the end of this lap looking at all the pit mechanics, but Protsuk goes through. It was not really any doubt anyway. Kaiser Vesnia now then comes into the pits for Dams, as Protsuk now then is in fact unseen by the cameras. Kulizek has actually overtaken his teammate Bavona, so he's now up into 5th place, not wasting any time. Although Bavona wants to try and get that position back off his teammate, regardless of the fact that Kulizek is fighting for the win here today, as in fact he got him at La Source in fact, so using the fresher tyres to his advantage here, unless may have been a team order, who knows.
Yeah, who knows, but of course it's the best thing to let Kulizek through because he already made his pit stop. So hopefully we won't see some stupid things from Pivona because he is going once again for the move. He should back out, but he doesn't listen to team orders here. He takes place regardless.
Yeah, he takes the place regardless. He doesn't care that Kulizek is fighting for the leader. Sazonov, meanwhile, on the inside of this is Protsuk, who's only just come out of the pits, and Sazonov takes the place with ease there from Protsuk, and not too far behind is Sinanome because of all of that. So Sinanome could try and take full advantage of Protsuk being caught up in this traffic here.
Yep, indeed. Now, I think Kulizek is, shouting in his helmet to the team that I think for a reason that the teammate should be behind him, not in front of him, because that could have an impact on his tires. Let's see how this pans out at the Prema team.
Yep, indeed, and so we've got to come around the final couple of corners as now we look at Kulizek, who's probably getting frustrated by Bavona as a result. The top three are coming into the pits because Sturt will be pitting at the end of this lap, and it'd be curious to see if he can actually get the jump on Sinanome and maybe even Protsuk as well, given he's been caught up in traffic at the moment. So it'll be interested to see what Sturt can do then. I don't think he's in now because I think he crossed the line and got the pit call as Kulizek tried to have a go at Bavona. They're clearly sending a message to his teammate there, but yeah, clearly not working out there for him. As now we go down towards the first corner now. Then Kulizek tries to look on the outside as Sturt is actually in the pit, so apologies for that. So, yeah, Curtis takes the lead temporarily in this race. Sturt, where is he going to emerge in comparison to Protsiuk and Synonym? And you know what? I think he has a chance of being ahead here. There's De Oliveira, and yeah, he has jumped
He
the
is out
pair
of both of them.
Yes, indeed. So the traffic paid off in Sturt's favour, and as a result, not only has he jumped Synonym in the pits, he's also jumped Protsiuk. So when everybody pits, he'll be up into second place.
Absolutely amazing stuff from Campos. It's incredible to say that after last season. But yeah, absolutely insane effort from all of them. Of course, Sturt putting the laps in he needed. Also the teams doing an incredible job.
Indeed so. Crest, meanwhile, trying to have a go at KO Shani there, and can't make the move stick at this point in time. But anyway, is Protsiuk doing all he can to get by on Oskin for 7th place. He's still stuck behind that bit of traffic, and as a result, look who's right behind him as a result. It's Hento Synonym, the championship leader, who could actually take advantage of this. As meanwhile, Sturt tries to have a go at De Oliveira into Poo on there, but I don't think it's going to work, and no, it's not. So it's now his turn to get caught up in a bit of traffic, but at least he's got someone behind that separates him from both Protsiuk and Synonym behind him. As meanwhile, Curtis is pitting in this lap. So Bavona will take the lead temporarily. He's still not letting Kulazek by, but yeah, so it will be temporarily at least a Premier 1-2.
Yeah, but it obviously should be in the different order, to be honest, because look how much time Kulazek is losing because of this. Yeah, now Sturt, of course, will be fast.
So yeah, Curtis now then into the pit for Trident as now Sturt looks on the inside of De Oliveira, but he can't make it stick at that point, and Curtis now into the pit for Trident, so we'll see where he emerges. I think there was a pit call there for Bavona, if I'm not mistaken, so I think he will be...
That's right.
Look, there is the rain. The rain is here, but maybe the wrong time for Curtis to go onto the dry tyres there. So I wonder if Bavona is smart enough, will he go on to... In fact, he's not pitting just yet, so I wonder what he's thinking when he makes his pit stop eventually. But the rain has arrived, but so far it's still dry tyres for the cars that came in. As now Kulazek once again looks on the inside of his own teammate Bavona into Lecom. Can he finally get by on his teammate? And yes, he does. Kulazek finally is ahead, and he's now back in the lead of the race. As meanwhile, Sturt has passed De Oliveira unseen by the camera, so he's finally got through there as De Oliveira is pitting at the end of this lap. And in fact, he got him at the source, did Sturt, so a good move there for the Campos driver. As now... as we can see, Prazan now on the inside of Crest. Both of these guys are pit, and Prazan is now back ahead of the German driver. As, ooh, that was close for comfort there, as Oskin came out of the pit. And was there any contact between the pair of them? And no, they just about avoided contact there. So a bit close to comfort there for those two.
Yeah, but it was a lucky ending. So, of course, now it's not possible for Suto to make a move here, but yeah.
Indeed, as now we look at the rest of the field.
Is he now ahead of Protsiuk, or was it already a few laps ago?
No, he's passed him. He's somewhere unseen by the camera. Synonym has actually passed Protsiuk, and he's now up into 6th position. Where did he get him? And was it... no, it's a little bit earlier than that, and it looks like he got him at the chicane. Got him at the chicane.
Yeah, I thought my eyes were deceiving me, to be honest there, but no. Synonym is through.
Took advantage of the traffic in front, and he gets by on Protsiuk, and he says, thank you very much, I'll take that place with ease. So now, once everybody pits, Synonym should be back on the podium.
Yep, that was a great move there from Synonym. Of course, now the top cars ahead of them have pit calls.
Yep, indeed, as of course Bavona hasn't yet. He's still staying out for at least another lap, so it'll still be a Premier 1-2 for the time being. But Kulazek now with the fresher tyres now starting to pull away from his own teammate Bavona. Sazonov, meanwhile, is also pitting this lap, and he's actually battling with De Oliveira at the moment. But they've also got Synonym and Protsiuk right behind. I wonder if Protsiuk might try and return the favour on Synonym at the chicane or not. We'll have to wait and see. But the answer to that is he's going to try and have a go. In fact, he's Protsiuk, but he backs out of it last attempt and has to run over the curbs to avoid Synonym as a result. A little bit of a risky move there for Protsiuk, but he's now got his teammate Prazan behind him. Prazan and Crest, of course, have already pitted, let's not forget. So they're legitimately in that fight for the final podium place.
Yep, that was the amount of time that Synonym and Protsiuk lost in the traffic is absolutely insane.
As still dry tyres for the drivers in the pit. Sazonov stays on the dries, as does De Oliveira, and you're having to wait for Sazonov to go by. So Sazonov now gets the jump on De Oliveira in the pits as a result. And in fact, I think they're going to actually drop quite a way down the field, aren't they? No, they're not. There they are. There's Sazonov, just in front there of the MP Motorsport of Oscar, although Oscar's going to try and have a go up towards Oruge. Keep it tidy. Oh, that was close indeed. But Sazonov staying firm. Same with De Oliveira and Suto there. Looks like the same thing happened between those two. And yeah, Suto having to take a little bit of avoiding action. But could that give Keoshani a chance to get him onto the camel straight? As now Oscar trying to take advantage of Sazonov there. As Bavona will be pitting at the end of this lap. Same for Adam Chobot, who of course got damage early on in the race. As now on the inside goes Oscar. And I think he's got
wide.
Wide there, he's going to be close for comfort, and Sauerbach wasn't able to get 2 places there. He tried to take 2 places of ease there into Lecombe, but he wasn't able to, and Suto and De Oliveira hold on. In fact, he's also ahead of Keoshani, in fact, so Keoshani has actually been swamped there during that Kemmel Straight. But meanwhile, look at this, Synonym now pulling away from Protsu, and now the 2 high-techs are fighting it out.
Yep, of course, they have to keep it tidy. It's not a battle for the podium, but it is for 4th. So good points are on the line there for the team.
Yep, indeed. They've got to make sure they don't take each other out, though, because that will be the worst disaster, really, given that this team has so far had a pretty poor season in 2022. A little bit of a polar opposite of the season they had last season, when they had both of their drivers, Martins and Oskin, finished 1-2 in the championship, and of course were able to take the team's championship with them as a result. But yeah, that's pretty much that now. Then there's Prazan now trying to attack Oscar. Sorry, not Oscar. Protsuit now then for 5th place. As now he looks to the inside of the chicane, but he can't get the move done. But yeah, that's that really. As Rona now into the pits for Prema Racing. I wonder where he's going to emerge after this pit stop. I'd imagine he's still going to stay on the dry tyres, is he? And yes, he is. So he doesn't decide to maybe switch it to maybe intermediates. So that's that. Meanwhile, Sazonov going to dive it on the inside of Oscar, and that's a sensational move there for Andrei Sazonov. He wasn't wasting any time in getting that place back from Oscar, and he's up into 12th place.
Yeah, I think that so far has been the move of the race, to be honest. Such a commitment on the brakes. Yeah, that is the place moved up in the field for Sazonov.
Yep, indeed. And where did Bavona rejoin after that pit stop? He rejoins in 9th place as Kirby tries to have a go, but can't get the move step. But Bavona still in the points after that pit stop. Meanwhile, Andrioli is now attacking Kress for 7th place down the Kemmel Straight. In fact, they're all getting queued up behind Protsu, who could just seems to be struggling a bit on this stint. As meanwhile, Curtis, who of course was struggling earlier on, he's outside the points. Now there's dots on the track, as you can see. There is now, the track is starting to get wet now then, so we might be it might not be too long before we maybe look at another round of pit stops perhaps. Maybe this time for wet tyres. We shall see. As Andrioli tried to have a go there at Kress coming out of the exit, because Kress had a horrible exit coming out of Bruxelles there, but Andrioli wasn't able to get the place there. But there are now dots appearing on the track, so could he be looking at... Could we be looking at wet tyres quite soon, as Andrioli can't find a way through on Crest? But yeah, could we be looking at a change of compound soon here, Dennis?
Maybe. Let's see. Of course, there's still 10 laps to go. So if someone is actually going or taking the gamble and going for wet tyres, that could be absolutely interesting to see. But I think, did Protsu make a mistake here?
A little bit, but I think it's more down to the damp conditions down at the campus corner there. So yeah, clearly struggling at this stage is Protsu, and under pressure from Aji Prazan at this stage as Curtis tries to put pressure on Kirby for the final points place. But yeah, the track is definitely getting damper everywhere we go at this part of the track. But yeah, we might starting to see spray soon in a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Just looking at the gap between the top two, it's 3.8 seconds between Kulazek and Sturt. I wonder if Sturt is actually gaining a bit on Kulazek. I'm not sure, but anyway, as we now go back to these battles that happen, Prazan looking to the inside of his own teammate into that source. He's going to try and dive it down the inside, and he gets the move done. So Protsu clearly struggling, and Prazan gets up into 4th position.
Yeah, finally he gets the move done. I think it was only a matter of time, because it looked like Prazan is fast on the sit, but Protsu may have an opportunity to retake the place at Lecombe. Speaking of taking place.
As Curtis tried to have a go there, is now Zorbak on the inside of De Oliveira. He takes 15th there, but what's going on with Andrioli and Cress? Up a little bit further ahead is now Andrioli on the inside of Cress. Can he pull the move off? No, he can't. Cress holds on to the place for the move. Curtis, meanwhile, on the inside of Kirby. Can he finally get that final points place of the ART Grand Prix car? Down the inside he goes. No, he can't. Kirby holding on to the place for the moment. Now here's the spray. Spray on the racetrack. As now we can see, so surely maybe in a few laps time we might see some impromptu pit calls. Oh, wide line for Cress, and Andrioli is through to 6th place. The Frenchman forced the error there, and Andrioli is now up into P6 as a result. So it seems that it's not just Proxy who's struggling. I think Cress might be also struggling as well.
Yep, that of course was a great execution there. The screen was a little bit lagging, but a great execution there for Andrioli. Yeah, now with the spray kicking in, actually at a lot of places, this could be quite interesting.
Now we look at Serezny, who's trying to have there's a big battle there for 7th place. There's so much going on at this point in time. Curtis has still not been able to get by on Kirby, and now they're making their way towards Blanchimont now. Then as now we look